Namaste, India. My name is David Lee, and welcome to my garage. The teacher said, go to the library, pick any book that you want to read, just something you have interest in. And I remember a lot of my friends picked dinosaur books and so forth, but I went straight to the Italian sport cars book. And I remember, loving those pictures of these cars, these Maseratis, Alfa Romeos, and all these different cars. I would love it so much because I had to return the book that I remember how to draw those cars. I would freehand draw those cars. And I really believe that that was the start of me discovering my love for cars. My first car, which I'm very proud of, because at age 16 in America, you get a driver license, you can drive, okay, and that was a representation of freedom, right? Everybody wanted to be free and get out of the house. Well, my parents worked really hard. I didn't really want them to buy me a car, so with all the money, all the red envelope money, birthday money that I've saved up, my first car was a brand new Toyota pickup truck, which cost me $7,500. I had a goal before 30, I was gonna buy my dream car. And my dream car prior was a Lamborghini Countach. So by the age of 29, I was able to afford and buy a pre-owned Lamborghini Diablo VT. And so that would be my first kind of exotic car. And then my first Ferrari exotic car, or collectible car, because I had actually changed to Ferrari soon after that in about a year. But my first collectible one was my Enzo, 2003 Enzo that I collected about 15 years ago. So I would think my watch and cars it goes hand in hand. It's something I can't really live with. I always use it, and it's part of my life. So that would be. So happens that my daytime job that most people know me for, I have a lot of businesses, but the one that they most know me for, because it's retail based, it's Hingwali Jewelers, which is a watch and retail store. So in my store, I've been a Rolex authorized dealer for 30 years, and I have 25 different other brands that I represent in watches. But so in that process of understanding watches, for doing watch business for so long, it comes to me that I like to pair watch that I have with the cars I drive, whether it's color or whether it's performance or whether there's some kind of connection between a watch and a car. I see that and I connect it to that car that I'm driving. I have so much, part of the reason I like driving the cars is the experience and the visual experience and the experience and the memories you have each time you drive the cars. They don't forget, and that's what's more interesting than just looking at the car or seeing the values go up and so forth. Well, so one story, I have a lot of stories, but one story I would say is I was driving up to Monterey, up to Pebble Beach Car Week. I was driving my LaFerrari coupe at the time. My son was sleeping on the passenger side. And I was going with a bunch of my friends from LA, friends from Saudi Arabia, and so forth. And we're all driving up together. And there was just some hand signal to say, let's go have a quick blips, let's go fast quickly, see what happens. So I punched it, I started it. I quickly rose up to 200 miles per hour. That was the first time I went 200 miles per hour in a road car. It was very safe, nobody was around, straight road, okay, flat. So then it was cool, it wasn't too long, we did that, and slowed down and started driving up. Down the road, we have all these police troopers kind of blocking the road. And as we're going, they're like telling us to go over. So we pulled me over, pulled a bunch of us over. Some people let go, I don't know what happened. So they pulled over and said, hey, we caught you guys like going super fast, 200 plus. I said, really? I said, I didn't see any police. Well, they were up in the air. So apparently they were doing radar up in the air and they saw, but I said, whose car is the right one? He goes, well, we don't know. We just saw red and yellow and, blue cars or whatever. So obviously they're just picking people, right? They didn't know who was exactly the one. Anyways, we got pulled over. It was nice. They could have thrown us in jail. They didn't throw us in jail for going so fast. They gave us tickets. We had our attorney handle it, paid the fine. But it was a good experience. It was an interesting experience. So in my collecting strategy, which I think a lot of people appreciate, is there is a theme. There's a theme to what I try to do, so there's a story that I tell. You know, when I first got my first Enzo, the reason I got the Big Five is because, well, the Enzo is a part of the supercars. Well, at that time there was 4 other supercars, right? There was the 288, there was F40, F50, and the Enzo. LaFerrari hadn't even come out at that time. But I wanted to collect that as a story, that's one family, instead of just random Ferraris or random brands. I also had a 1965 275 GTS, which is a convertible classic car. So from there, I wanted to collect maybe the other convertible classic cars, like the 330 GTS, like the 365 Daytona Spider, and I did collect that. So I kind of had the classic car, convertible classic car. So from there, I started even a theme, and then and as you achieve those themes, you kind of recalibrate what your future theme could be, or what was interesting. And you know, of course, today it's the ketchup and mustard, you know, red and yellow Big Fives, right? Which I'm trying to achieve, which I'm almost there, right? 95% there. There is the, of course, my classic cars, 250 engine, 275, 330, 365, Dino, you know, just really iconic classic cars. And then the new supercars. So that's how it evolves. It evolves, and of course I like colors, so red and yellow and green. So ketchup, mustard, and relish. And I have a blue collection in another garage, which I call Slurpee. So, you know, I like to do it in themes, which people seem to gravitate towards. So as you can see behind me, the ketchup, mustard, the big five, you know, in red and yellow. I'm almost there. I just need a yellow LaFerrari, which it's out there, and I'm sure I can get that. But the latest acquisition you see behind me is a yellow 288. That was hard to get. And so if you want to see more about it or know more about it, check out my YouTube channel, Ferrari Collector David Lee YouTube channel, and see the video that we're going to do more in detail on the 288 GTO yellow. So as I am getting close to achieving my strategy, my goal for collecting the Big Fives, you know, and obviously there's a new LaFerrari replacement, so I want to get that in red and yellow as well. You know, I think I'm very content with what I'm looking to achieve. You know, I don't know anybody that has 2 sets of the Big Five or soon Big Six, so that's quite something special. The classic cars, which I love, the new cars. You know, I have a lot of new cars coming that are special. I find that what I would like to do in my next level of goal is to really influence those people that are following me. You know, all those that are following me and wanting to see kind of my collection, appreciate my collection, wanting to know, how do I get there? How do I invest? How do I get to having a collection of my own? Which is why I had recently started, you know, Titan Education Inner Circle, which is a professional mentor kind of program to be able to teach people from my experience, from also my partner, which is a senior professor at USC, entrepreneur, to be able to guide along entrepreneurs to make the right decisions. And it makes a big difference. You know, the more you make right decision, the faster you're going to get there. And I think our collective experience, we're able to help entrepreneurs do that. Hi everybody, we're back, and we're going to go do a little in-depth kind of just walkthrough of my garage. So here we have the 1985 288 GTO, which this year is the 40-year anniversary. It was my high school dream car. It was in the Road and Track magazine that I opened up, and I fell in love with it right away. And I never thought I could afford it. And now, not only do I have one, I have 2. I have the ketchup and mustard, right? I have the red and the yellow 288 GTO. And you know, there's obviously, they were all made in red. A lot of people ask me, how did I find it? They were all made in red. And so the ones that I know out there, I know there's one in Florida, there's one in Japan, and it was all repainted. And so this one I had to buy, and repaint it. But I did it the right job. I took everything apart, repainted everything, put it so it's not done the kind of the easy way, and it was appreciated. Matter of fact, the Ferrari appraiser, the most formidable one in the U.S., said this 288 GTO has more value than the red even, because I did it in the right way. So I'm very happy about this, and I look to drive at the 288 reunion in October with Ferrari. Here we have 1990 F40, right? Again, we have a, if you see, it's a US version and a Euro version, with the yellow being the Euro version and the red being the US version. So you can see some of the difference there, but both are fantastic. Then you have the ketchup and mustard F50. You can see the different, it was the Spider for many years, the only Spider. The engine sound was amazing. It was the F1 engine that they put in there to, you know, in this chassis, a carbon fiber chassis. You know, it's a V12, right? V12 mid-engine car, so it's amazing. I have it with the hard top setup and the soft top, and my other F50 that I had was in the Roadster setup. So it was super cool. I've got to experience it in all three ways. Then we got the 2003 Enzo. This one, believe it or not, in my collection, it is the oldest, the first of my really collecting collection. 2003 Enzo. Michael Schumacher had a lot of involvement with the transmission and everything, so obviously a very special car. 6-year anniversary of Ferrari. They came out with the Enzo, and I have it in the ketchup and mustard also here. And then we come down to the LaFerrari Aperta. And I haven't read. I'm sourcing the yellow, and I will find it. I know that the LaFerrari replacement is coming out. Probably going to be announced this year.
So you're one step away from the Big Ten.
One step away from the Big Ten. One step away. So again, part of being an ambassador for Ferrari, part of being a steward of every car that you're a steward of, Ferrari, it's an important role. And at some level, they offer you their pinnacle of cars. Now, they had offered me, the factory had offered me a F1 car by Fernando Alonso, which I was honored to, but I had passed on. Then a few months later, they said, what about if we offer you F202, 2002, Michael Schumacher championship winning car? And I said, of course, that's great. So I was able to get that, and here we have, I'm proud to be owner of this one. I was recently at the Cavalcade International, which took us to Nashville and then to Miami, where we did the unveiling of the new F12 Cylindrian, right? And it's a major car, right? It's a naturally aspirated V12 with 830 horsepower that the RPM will allowed to go up to 9,500 RPMs, which is amazing. It's going to be an amazing car, and a lot of the new technology in it. But in looking at the car when I was unveiled, I saw different aspects of it. I mean, I saw some parts that look like the 1971 Daytona, okay, with the front there, and which I have one also, 1971 Daytona Spider original. Then you see other aspects of the A12 and the Roma in there. So, it was interesting for me because I having different models, I can see that within the design of the new car. But here, just to kind of show you, I have I love the classic cars. I have in the 250, I have the 275, 330, 365, and of course my Monza Dino. And I love my classic cars. But here's one I wanted to show you guys because of the recent F12 Cylindrian that came out. All right, well, thank you, Ferrari of Mumbai. And thank you for having me at Ballers Parking Only. Time's up, and I got to run.